Hey everyone, a few weeks ago I posted this little dress I was working on with this exposed decorative ruffle. This is Glenda Marsh in Glen Rose, Texas, so thank you for the nice comments. I showed you just the machine setup, but not actually how to do it. I'm working on another little project because I just love the way this looks. I'm using some red and blue decorative threads here with the cover stitch selection. I'm going to show you what happens or what it looks like if you have the chain stitch selected. Not too bad, but not exactly what I was looking for. So I wanted to show you how to do this. If you're a visual learner like me, I'm a see it, do it kind of gal. So I have my machine still set up with the threads that I used. I am using the cover stitch. I'm using all 8 threads, getting the maximum out of these wonderful sergers that we have. And I have learned that you can, if you have an evolve and of course an evolution, you can do this technique also. So in the cover stitch threads, I'm using 2 metallic Halo by Superior. They were just a blue and I just kind of liked how they looked. So that's in the chain needle 1 and 3. I have a regular maxi lock thread in chain needle 2 back here. Overlock needle 1, I'm just using a polyester decorative thread. In the regular overlock needle 2, this is a Superior Omni, which is a stitching serger and sewing thread that I've really enjoyed those. In the back, which is something many of us don't use, in the upper looper, I'm actually using YLI fusible thread. This will probably make sense in a little bit, but someone had asked where you get that. I've seen it, I've ordered online. I've seen it in our sewing stores. Sometimes Joann's or Hancock's might have it also. Then the interesting part of this technique is in the lower looper I selected this red because it's going to be closest to the blue fabric, so I wanted that to really show up. And this is a Superior, this is one of those razzle dazzle decorative threads. And then I'm using the same thing in the chain looper, which is in this blue color here. So I've threaded my blue into the chain looper. Since this is a thicker thread, I have bypassed actually going through the port. So I'm bypassing both the lower looper and the chain looper. If somebody ever needs that, I think there's some pictures online, but I just used the thread cradle through here, opened up the ports, pulled out the bottom of the thread cradle, and then loop this into the cradle and pull the cradle out. That's how you get it into the rest of your machine. So the fusible thread will of course go through the upper looper port, but the 2 decorative threads, which are thicker, I did use the bypass. My settings here, I'm using overlock. Don't forget, and I did this on the first one, it was set on chain instead of cover, and so that's how you got the difference in the little line through there, although I guess it really kind of looked okay. I'm using stitch selector A, the stitch length, because we are going to be gathering, and I am using the gathering foot. I'm using the longest stitch length that I can, so that's a 4, and I have increased my tensions to the highest that it will go to a 2. Remember, that's usually our settings for gathering. Someone did ask that their gathers never seem to be very big. I have noticed that with those thicker kinds of, and I hope I didn't, I bet I messed this up, but we'll show you. I do want to show you this gathering foot. What I was going to say is with the fabrics that have a metallic color in them or a thread, they're more difficult, I've found, to gather up. They're a stiffer fabric. Now this is the gathering foot. Someone else asked about this, and what I was told is sometimes this is pushed up here and it's not open enough. So you need to gently spread this bottom part of the gathering foot open a little bit. Of course, as a store owner told me, if you pull it so far that it breaks off, you've lost your warranty on it. So be careful, but make sure you have it opened a little bit there. So I'm going to see if I can get these back in here. So we'll have to see if this actually goes since I pull those threads out. You just have to work it a little bit to get it back onto your to your foot. Okay, so I am still threaded up, hopefully correct. And my stitch width is 7.5, and I've already mentioned to you that you know, we're using a 4 stitch length, the longest one that we can. So the key to this is going to be our little ruffle that I've used, and of course y'all, I'm sure all know to go ahead and finish your seam if you're not doing, you know, a double fold for your ruffle. And again, that may make your ruffle not quite as thick. So I'm going to put this ruffle is, the way this works is very opposite of what we normally think. We're going to put the ruffle with the wrong side up, and it goes under the ruffling foot. And I'm going to just take a stitch or two to anchor this, and I do see my ruffle starting. I'm going to turn this just a little bit so that hopefully you guys can see this. And remember, normally we put things, you know, kind of wrong side and a right side, but with this technique we're putting both wrong sides together. So this is my ruffle underneath the gathering foot, and then I'm sliding wrong sides together. I'm sliding the fabric part of my skirt underneath, or between, not underneath, but between that bar and the fabric. So we've got ruffle on bottom, the fabric to the dress on top. And again, I like to take just a stitch or so to kind of get it going. We're cutting very small amount. I'm gently holding the top fabric to go right up next to the gathering foot. Okay, so we're just going to see how this works. Just kind of gently, kind of have to hold everything gently, but I like to hold that top fabric and the bottom a little bit, and we'll see what we've got. So again, this is just my little sample, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. As y'all know, sometimes when we're trying to do this, you never know what's going to happen. Alright, so, whoops. When I pull this, this is how our little skirt is going to look. Now, because we put that fusible thread in that looper, that upper looper, when we rotate this way, we can press that down, and that is what our little ruffle is going to look like. I hope you enjoyed this. I love this technique by Emily Carter, one of our baby lock educators. So if you ever have an opportunity to hear her, it's well worth your time to attend one of her lecture demos or class. All right, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.